Hello, welcome to the alternate channel, anti-war, and we're looking at Miller Lite, introduced in 1975 for the mass market. Really, it came on the market in 1967, but it was called Meisterbrow Light. True story. Didn't sell really. It was marketed as a diet beer for women who are going to like the exercise club, either to stay in shape or get into shape. Well, 5 years later, Meisterbrow was bought out by Miller Brewing Company, meaning Philip Morris, and they thought that it was being mismarketed and maybe the taste wasn't that good, so they reformulated it. And it has changed since then, because it used to be loaded with various chemical agents, but Anheuser-Busch felt threatened by it, so they did research and found out it had a lot of additives. So then back in the 1970s, like 75, 76, Anheuser-Busch started this big campaign of our beer is natural, not like Schlitz adding their fermentation agent that turns to slime, and Miller Lite with all their crazy chemicals. We have a real light beer, natural light. So that's what Anheuser-Busch was saying, natural light, no additives, no preservatives. So then Schlitz and Miller were very damaged by that. So they hurried up and came out with no additives and preservatives, and that's what they pushed. Now, 40 years later, Anheuser-Busch came out with another attack with the corn syrup thing. Here's your corn syrup, rolling the barrel, the big wooden barrel of corn syrup to Miller and Coors Light, Miller Lite. And they say, ours is made with rice, not the stinking rotten corn syrup, which is comical in a way because it doesn't really matter. They're only fermentation agents. They do change the taste. A rice beer like Budweiser does taste different from corn syrup, Miller Lite, High Life. But Miller got really paranoid about it, and so Miller Coors, Molson Coors, meaning Molson Coors. So then they pushed the big thing. We don't use high fructose corn syrup like y'all, because Anheuser-Busch uses high fructose corn syrup in many of their products, and corn syrup in most of their beers, just not Budweiser or Bud Light. They use cane syrup, from a sugarcane stalk in their Bud Light Platinum. But that's how these companies battle. It's a war type thing. It says Northwest hops, Pacific Northwest hops, and Noble Saz hops. That would be from like the Czech Republic, maybe Bavaria, which is next door to Bohemia, Czechia, and Moravia. Bohemia and Moravia is Czechia. Okay, the Czech Republic is Bohemia, and then right southeast of it, Moravia. And then Bavaria right below, south and southwest. They used to be, all three of those were Bohemia, the Kingdom of Bohemia, today Czech Republic, and Bavaria at one time were both German states, part of the German Confederation. But anyway, and Miller has a Germanic heritage because Fred Miller came from Germany. He went to New Orleans first. He should have stayed in New Orleans and did his brewing there, but he went to Milwaukee, and that became the brewing capital of America. This particular can comes from Albany, Georgia. Code 07 is Albany. I did a taste challenge. So one of the viewers on the main channel, not the secret channel, but the main channel, was saying, I have an idea, like, why don't you do a taste challenge between Miller High Life Light and Miller Lite? I might have done that years ago. I have so many videos, I can't keep track, but I do a lot of taste challenges. And I said, even if I had done it before, a lot of these people don't know the channel but for the last 3 or 4 years. I said, okay, so I bought this and a big can of Coors Light, 24-ounce cans, double-sized cans. It was a special at Racetrack, 2 for $4. It's really not that great of a deal. Beer prices have gone up so much lately. Like Miller Lite in an 18-ounce bottle, which is what I wanted, it was $1.89. And I said, ain't no way I'm paying $1.89 for an 18-ounce bottle, which is a beer and a half. That used to be $1.09 not that long ago. Yeah, like for real, I'm going to pay $1.26 for a 12-ounce? I don't think so. So I just bought it. And then I said, let me get a can, a pint can, a quart can of the High Life Lite. Don't have it. Only High Life. So, well, that's weird. No High Life Lite at racetrack. I said, golly. Went to Mathern's. They have it in 12 packs, but I did something else at Mathern. I was dropping a newspaper for somebody I know. I read the newspaper this morning, and a guy I know that works there, and I said, I'll just bring it to him. It's on the way to where I'm trying to go. So I did that. Went to Walmart. Oh, sorry. Went to Winn-Dixie. I said, let me check Winn-Dixie. Yep, sure enough, Miller High Life Light. Oh yeah, and I went to Food for Less. They don't have it at all in the store. Miller High Life Light. Nothing. No cans, no bottles. I said, woof, this is really weird. Winn-Dixie had the 12 packs. No cans, though. I don't believe. No, they did have cans, 12 pack of cans. But for $10.99, I said, And I said, the dates are terrible. Look at these dates. That's by September 2019. Bad business. You know, Miller distribution is pitiful. Like what I'm saying is their distributors are so negligent on dates relative to like Anheuser-Busch. And they just happen to have an Anheuser-Busch bulk merchandiser in Winn-Dixie. And I was talking to him. He knows me. And I said, look at these dates. And he made some comments. I won't repeat those. But although they are probably true. Then I said, what would happen if you had a date like that for Budweiser and it was September 26th? He said, oh, that would be a big problem. That would be a big problem. Because they have those quality QC teams come in, quality control teams from Anheuser-Busch, not the distributor, the company. And they'll just show up and start spot checking. First of all, nothing better be out of date on the shelf. I don't mean a day out of date, not even a day, or there's going to be big problems. But if they come in there and it says September, and here we are in December, I'm going to talk to the salesman tomorrow. I think I'll see the Anheuser-Busch salesman out here, area salesman. I'm going to ask him that. I'm going to say, hey, if I don't want to name his name, but I said, if that happens, what's going to happen? I know what he's going to say. He said, some people losing their jobs. It's going to be bad. But Miller, like, don't know, it could be a year old. No big deal. I'm not taking sides. I'm a consumer. I don't work for these companies. I'm just telling you what I observe. Pabst, meaning in this area, Pabst and Coors come on have the same distributor. Miller has a different distributor from Coors. Crazy, huh? Same company now, Miller Coors, Molson Coors, but they got different distributors. They got the Miller truck, which includes Foster's, of course, and Heineken. But Pabst got their own truck, and that will include different products like Abita and Coors. Pabst and Coors, I mean to say. But, and this could go back to contracts 40 years ago that have never changed. They seem to be pretty good on their dates, being careful and whatnot. So I said $10.99 ain't happening. I think Mathern's is cheaper. But I just say going there. I wasn't going to drop the paper. I wasn't going back. I don't want to be wasting the whole morning driving here and there in this town. So he said, go to Walmart. And he's telling me about a Miller beer. I said, okay. I went over there. They have a big special, $8.49 a 12 pack, $8.49. I said, okay, that's doable. I think Rouse's sometime got a $7.99. But I said, okay, $8.49. Big old display. And then they got the champagne bottles, you know, the big champagne style bottles for $3.19. Price went up. Used to be $2.99. last year. So I said, watch it not add up. You know what I'm saying? When I go to checkout, it's going to be wrong. So I go to the self-checkout. Naturally, it rings up $10.99. Here comes the lady. Let me scan it for you because, you can't self-checkout alcohol. They have to approve it. I said, the price is not right. Oh, I said, no, it's $8.49. Oh, and she gives me some explanation that made no sense. Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. I said, no, it's none of that. There's a big display. It says High Life Light, $8.49. So then the manager was passing by, I think the store manager. She says, hey, and then she told him what happened. I'm going to check, he says, because I walked all the way back to the back of the store to check again. I went walking back a third time. He's told her, just give him the price. So she said, what was it? I said, $8.49. So she manually overrode it, $8.49 for a 12-pack. So I did one taste challenge. I did Miller High Life Light versus Miller Lite. Couldn't tell them apart. Got them mixed up. Shows you what I know. Is it because I'm a bad reviewer? Could be. But I think the better answer, the correct answer, is because they're so common one to another that I'm going to put the rest up. I'm going to eat lunch. I'm going to have salad and then some food with this. I'm not going to just blow through this beer. Because people say, oh, it's so different. Oh, it's so different, so different. I say, really? I couldn't get them right. Now, when I sat there and I was drinking it, knowing what I was drinking, I thought that the Miller maybe had more hop action, triple hopped. But we're talking about differences that are so minimal, they're almost like practically meaningless. They are practically meaningless, I think. And I'm not paying $2 more a 12-pack for something that has virtually no difference in taste. It does if you're straining at it. Like you say, neither one of these towels have moisture. And then you take one, you squeeze as hard as you can, and a little drop comes out. Oh, it does have moisture. The other one doesn't. That's a big difference. Well, you see what I'm saying? It's so minimal. And that's what these are. So I would say that Miller High Life Light won by default. $2 cheaper per 12-pack, a bottle or cans, or it doesn't matter. And the flavor's comparable. Yeah, you get more calories, 107 versus 96. 11 calories per serving. Is that going to matter? No. You say, well, I drank 20 a day. Well, it might matter, but for typical drinking, it was no difference. Alcohol, 4.1 for High Life Light, 4.2 for Miller Lite. No difference. Or no real difference. No practical difference. Okay. Do I intend to do 11 other taste challenges? Yeah, why not? Y'all might have suggestions, but it may not work because I can only get certain things. Now, if I can find Schaefer Light, but do I want to pay $17.99 for a 24-pack case of Schaefer Light? I really don't want to do that. I can get 30 packs of natural ice for $17.99. You know what I'm saying? Is Schaefer Light bad? No, in fact, it's probably better than most of the other light beers. Kind of like with Schlitz. Well, Schlitz Light was kind of like the same, but it was $7.98 a 24-pack back when we could get it. Last time I saw Schlitz Light was 2010. It was a good substitute. Schlitz Light was very dry. It was so dry, like it was the most crispest light beer ever. But you see, you'd buy it for people and they would make a face like Schlitz Light. You're being cheap. But the whole point of these taste challenges is I'm not being cheap. You can't tell the difference. Can't tell. Now, if you claim you can tell, let's ante up. Ante up. Do the taste challenge. If you can't do the taste challenge, then you're buying the label. My next door neighbor, that's all they drank. Miller Lite, Miller Lite, Bud Light, Bud Light, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Miller Lite, Miller Lite. Why they interchange them, I don't know. But they interchange them. See, there's the point there. They interchange them. They took one behind the other. One, this, that, ping pong. But it's like playing Pong, in 1970s, the video game Pong. You say, well, that's an even trade because Miller Lite and Bud Light are priced at the same level. Right. That's right. Wouldn't matter. But when you bring in the economy brands and they are able to compete on par with the major brands, then why are you paying extra? Now, when I go against Bud Light, Miller High Life Light versus Bud Light, it's going to be a draw. I mean, I'm predicting. I could be wrong. It's going to be a draw. I'm going to try to be very careful. A draw. I don't even like. My friend David was talking to me on the phone when I was walking outside. He was saying, "Oh, I don't like High Life Light. It's too thin." And he was talking about Miller Lite. It's the best tasting of all the light beers. I said, "Yeah, but how much of the best? You know what I mean? Like it's so narrow." I said, "You got to do a taste challenge." He wasn't opposed to that, really. He said, "But I don't even like light beer. It's too thin." I said, I don't like it either. I don't drink it. I'm doing it for taste challenge purposes. Like, then he was saying, "I don't know how you drink all that flavored stuff like lime-a-rita, watermelon-rita." I said, "I don't drink it." All right. If you come look at my fridge, I got Keystone Ice, like out the whole fridge. Because that's what I drink as an everyday, what the people call go-to drinker. I said, if you drank one after the other, Bud Light, lime-a-rita, watermelon-rita, cranberry-rita, and you got overloaded on it and you got drunk or whatever and sick. I said, can you imagine how bad you feel the next day? I would feel bad if I drank too much of any beer, but it's a stratified thing. You might feel a little crummy if you drink too much Miller High Life Light. But Rita? I don't want to drink too much of any of those things. But that's what I was trying to tell them. I just taste them and do the video, and people like to watch it, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, this and that," hackety hack, don't come back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not that important. They watch it, we talk about it, and we talk about something else. So it's fun to do that. I mean, the product exists, it's there. Try it. Okay, no big deal. I said that on the main channel. No big deal. You try it. I got a can of watermelon Rita, whatever they call it now. Rita used to be Bud Light watermelon Rita. Not even supposed to sell it in this parish. I did a locator tool. They say it's sold 25 miles away or further. But there it was, only 8 miles away. Either a distributor made a mistake and they're reporting back to the company, or even more likely, it was hot-shotted in. Meaning what? The same people that own the convenience store on US 61 in that town are the same people that own the convenience store on Louisiana Highway 20 in that town. And they put some stuff in a van, brought it there, put it on the shelf. Nobody noticed nothing, and it's there. Is that legal? No. You're not allowed to sell any beer outside the distributor channels. Do stores violate that? Am I wearing golden? Am I wearing yellow and green, green and gold? Of course they violate it. There's no way to enforce it unless a agency like Louisiana Tax and Tobacco, Firearms, and Alcohol would sit down and go through records and try to determine all this. No one's got time for that. They're not going to do it. Now, if it's something very blatant, you could perhaps get busted, like selling a beer that's not even sold in Louisiana. It could be risky. But even that probably isn't going to get noticed these days with the plethora of varieties on the shelf. Ronnie S says, "Hey, Ron. Hey to you, Ronnie S." So the cut and dry is, there were differences between Miller Lite and High Life Light, but they weren't significant and they were negligible, in fact. And I wouldn't pay $1 more for 12-pack. Miller Lite, is it better than High Life Light? arguably, is it $1 better per 12 pack? No way, Jose. How was the Miller Lite? It's fine. I wouldn't drink it normally. It's too thin. It doesn't have enough flavor. It's watery. If I'm working bingo and I can find a fresh can, which is doubtful, I'll get it. Now, some people say, I'm going to close this out, but some people will say things like, it's not the same. It's not the same. Miller got bought out by Molson Coors. They ruined it all. It's not an independent company. They betrayed me. I'm turning my back, all this. Come on, hold on a second. Let's get something straight. I'm cracking another Samuel Adams winter lager. Oh, yes, I bought one. Haha, I bought one for our winter beers on January 1st. Let's get something straight, folks. There has been no Miller Brewing Company since 1966, if you won't be techno. In 1966, Miller Brewing Company was bought out by a holding company. You know what? You want to know why? And that was only 111 years after the company was founded by Friedrich Miller. You want to know why? Because the woman who inherited the company was very strict Protestant, did not believe in drinking, and she said she felt guilty being part of a company that purveys alcohol on the public. Her business. Okay, so she cashed out, sold it to a holding company who was only buying it to flip it. So they sold it. They flipped it to Philip Morris in 1969. Philip Morris made a purchase agreement, and then the sale went through in 1970. So from 1970 to 2016, if you want to be more precise, October 2016, Miller Brewing Company was owned by, you say, no, it's SAB Miller, SAB Miller since 2002. Yeah, okay, that's right. South African breweries. But the majority shareholder, who owned the biggest amount of stock? Altria. And who's Altria? Philip Morris. Philip Morris owned the largest amount of stock. And they decided to sell it to Anheuser-Busch, who on the same day turned around and sold it to Molson Coors, because the U.S. government would not allow Anheuser-Busch to own Miller because of antitrust laws, which I do not support. I do not support antitrust laws. I'm a free enterprise guy. If you watch my channel, I'm always promoting free enterprise. I never knew Philip Morris was in the beer game. They sure were. That's why if you look at all the old 1960s and 70s Miller ads, people always smoking. All right. What do they say about the low calorie segment in this 1996 Miller brochure that they sent me? Back when they used to send you brochures in the good old days when you didn't have to look everything up on the internet, you could have this as a souvenir. They say, blah, blah, blah about the light beer, the fastest growing category in the beer world. True, then true now. Well, maybe not fastest growing anymore, but biggest. Miller single-handedly created the industry's low-calorie beer category when it introduced Miller Lite in 1975. Now, they give a background story to this. Miller obtained the Lite name in 1972 when it purchased the Meisterbrau and Meisterbrau Light labels from the financially troubled Meisterbrau Incorporated brewery in Chicago, which closed in 1978. Okay, so Miller bought Meisterbrau in 72 and then closed down their operations in 78. Meisterbrau was an old beer company from the 1800s in Chicago, but it couldn't make it, just like Jack's Beer in New Orleans. In fact, Meisterbrau bought Jack's in 1969. Didn't do them any good. Then it was sold to Miller, and then Jack's got sold off to Pearl, and Pearl got sold off to Pabst. Sirens. I remember 23 years ago, Pabst tried to bring back Jack's, and they had a big promotion. Jack's is back, and it was in Jackson Square, and they had like a jazz concert. They were saying Jack's is back, and all the stores had Jack's beer on the shelves. 6 packs, and I bought it. I said, I'm gonna get this, and it was very good. I went back to get it, never saw it again. Either that was a scam or it didn't make it. It might have been a copyright scam, a trademark scam. You say, what do you mean? If you don't use a trademark after a certain number of years, it can be taken over by another company. It becomes public domain. I think Pabst was paying attention to that and saying it's about to expire. So then they put out Jack's. It's almost like a false promotion. Kind of like when they made that Fantastic Four movie in 1994. They never meant to put it on in the theaters. It was only done to protect their rights to the movie, which was a disservice to the actors in it. But anyway, it says Miller Lite, a premium low-calorie beer, is distinctive and flavorful, but also has fewer calories and carbohydrates. A 12-ounce serving contains 96 calories. Okay. Hadn't changed. There used to be Miller Lite, Miller Genuine Draft Light. That's gone. 98 calories. Miller Genuine Draft Light is now called Miller 64. It got changed. It was Miller Genuine Draft 64 and then Miller 64. That was kind of a sad story. That doesn't sell too well, but I do see it at Matherne's. They have a few people over there that buy it. Keep it going. Miller High Life, the below premium segment. At least Miller will tell you, here's our cheap stuff. The below premium segment. Miller High Life is Miller's oldest brand. Although brewed by Miller since the mid-19th century, 1855, the Miller High Life name, it was not marketed under the name Miller High Life until 1903. I've gotten in some really fierce arguments with people on Facebook. They'll say, you're wrong. And I'm just thinking, okay, here we go. Miller High Life was introduced in 1903. And they'll show the link to Miller High Life Facebook page. I say, yes, but it actually goes back to 1855. And then they'll say, you know, why don't you learn about beer? And I'll say, okay, I got some primary sources. You ready to roll? Then I don't hear from them. Sometimes they'll block you, you know. It's like, what is Aleppo? All right. Milwaukee's Best Light. They're about to die away, it looks like. You know what's interesting about this brochure? It doesn't show Miller High Life Light. This must be a very old brochure. I got it in 97, but I think it was printed before then. Boy. Now they go to the end. The Philip Morris family of companies. I prefer Bud Light or Coors Light over Miller Lite if I had to choose one of the big three. Oh, fair enough. I'm about to go start my food. They're showing all the cigarettes. This is back before the kind of communist type government approach that we had in the 90s and 2000s from the U.S. government, landed the free cigarettes. When I say landed the free, you know, like free to trade, buy and sell. We don't really have that anymore. We have the right to be regulated and told what to do. But some people apparently really appreciate that, especially liberal-minded people. They want government control over them, which is ironic because they'll always say, I want my freedom, my freedom. We need more regulations. And I say, well, how does that match up? It just goes on and on about the history of Philip Morris, how they bought Miller, talks about their financial services corporation, how they bought Kraft. Philip Morris purchased General Foods in 85 and Kraft in 1988. That hasn't lasted. Kraft is owned by Heinz today. Heinz Kraft USA, General Foods. It goes on and on. And then they show all these processed food products. Boy, Alex, the beer master, you can make so many videos behind this. Take your whole life just doing craft food, Kraft Heinz. Then Miller sent me all of these brochures. I mean, all these sell sheets for each product. It was amazing. And it goes on and on. I can't show you all this. I got to go eat food. News releases. Oh, this, that, the other thing. Miller Lite. Oh, December 93. Okay. It is old. Magnum. Magnum malt liquor. It's a sheet of paper. Introduced 1981 nationally. 12-ounce cans. I've seen those. 16-ounce cans. I see those. Used to see those. 32-ounce cans. Seen the bottles. 40-ounce bottles. See 42s now. Malt liquor category. Smooth, consistent taste, and a malt liquor. I agree with that. Advertising supported by point of sale materials. Exactly. You'll never see a newspaper or radio or magazine ad for Magnum, but it's holding its own, holding its own, holding its own. I still see it. Blow and Brow, that's gone. Red Dog, that's practically gone. Southpaw, that is gone. Ice House still holding out. Then all the Leinenkugel's Bach. Love to see that. Leinenkugel's Red Lager. Love to see that. Leinenkugel's Limited. Love to see that. Leinenkugel's Original. Have seen that. Not here. And then Meisterbrow. They got the most colorful one. The most colorful one is for Meisterbrow. Yeah, you know, same old story. One of the best beers they made, so they made sure nobody could get it, and then it was discontinued because it had bad sales. But then how could you buy it? Because you couldn't get it. Quality beer for the cost-conscious consumer. Yes. Crazy. All right. Enough of that. Does Miller Lite live up to its reputation or its billing? I suppose so. Are there cheaper alternatives? Yes. Can they match it? Yes. Do I have 11 more taste challenges coming? Yes. All right, we'll jump on to the other channel now. A little bit. I guess I'm going to look at some oh man, people are going to get mad at my channel. They're going to say another another flavored beer. Yeah, well, I'm like Michael Corleone. I'll try to get out to keep dragging me back in. But I got some really high top shelf flavored beers too now. Bourbon County Stout, Confederate Breakfast Stout from Michigan. I got White Stout from almost said Dragon's Claw. Dragon's Milk, and all these others. Ronnie says, I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm regulated. See, that's what makes, if you understand exceptionalism, America is an exceptional country. We're different than the other countries. You go to Switzerland, all these regulations, all this socialism. Go to France, all these regulations, all this socialism. They got government health care. They got government rules about cigarettes and high chairs and automobile tires. But if you come to America, you see, our government has all kind of health care systems for the poor and the elderly. And we have regulations to protect you from bad tires, and we have regulations to protect you from bad cigarettes. And we have regulations to protect you from bad baby high chairs. That's what makes America different. And that's why France stinks. Because they have all these regulations that limit your freedom. And we have all these protections that help us be free and safe and secure and highly taxed. You don't understand. Because where were you when it was time to sign up? Jeremy says, cheers, Ron. Cheers to you, Jeremy. Now I'm jumping back to the other channel, y'all. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be on it, but I'm jumping back to it. I'm going to log out of this. All right. Thanks for watching this video production. Thanks for watching my authority.